Nintendo just got cast as gaming's villain again, and the internet's eating it up. You've seen it. Nintendo hates charity headlines, angry Reddit threads, YouTubers making that face in their thumbnails. The latest outrage? Nintendo told RTA in Japan's summer 2025 charity marathon, one of the biggest speedrunning events in the world, that they couldn't use any of its games. For Western fans, it looked petty. A beloved charity loses its biggest draws? Easy villain story. But here's the twist. That take is wrong. This isn't about Nintendo hating fun or sabotaging a good cause. It's about Japanese law, corporate culture, and why the second RTA became a legal entity, this was inevitable. Through a Western lens, it's corporate cruelty. Through a Japanese lens, it's just Tuesday. And once you see that side, the whole thing changes. RTA in Japan isn't a small Twitch stream. It's the country's biggest charity speedrunning marathon, broadcast twice a year to a global audience, raising millions of yen for Doctors Without Borders. Sponsors, crowds, legendary runs. It's a staple of the gaming calendar. For years, Nintendo games were the main event. Mario 64, Zelda, Pokemon. They pulled in the biggest audiences and the highest donations. Then, June 13th, 2025 happened. Nintendo contacted RTA and said, "You're a corporation now. That means you need permission to use our games. And everything you've done before, technically unauthorized." That's not PR spin. That's just how Japanese copyright works. On August 4th, 5 days before the summer marathon, RTA announced no Nintendo games this year. They couldn't push the new licensing process through in time. For runners, it meant months of wasted prep. For fans, it gutted the schedule. And online, the outrage machine switched on. But here's what most people didn't know. In Japan, once you're a legal entity, companies are expected to enforce their IP. Not doing so can cause legal and shareholder trouble. Nintendo wasn't being petty. They were doing exactly what the system demands. In the West, nuance didn't stand a chance. The headline alone, "Nintendo pulls games from charity," was enough to light up Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. I saw it happen in real time. Videos titled, "I'm done with Nintendo," endless comment threads, the usual cycle. The narrative wrote itself. Nintendo is petty. Nintendo hates charity. Nintendo doesn't care about the fans. And honestly, I get why people jump there. Nintendo's history of shutting down fan games, canceling tournaments, and demonetizing creators makes it easy to believe. But this wasn't about a grudge. It was about Japanese law, where the rules are black and white and exceptions don't really exist. That detail just doesn't survive in a meme. In Japan, the reaction was different. Still disappointed, sure, but not outraged. Local coverage framed it as inevitable. Automaton West explained Nintendo's stance. Once RTA became a legal corporation, it needed permission for every game. Kotaku Japan echoed the same. This wasn't a should we decision, it was we have to. That's the cultural gap. In Japan, corporations are expected to follow the rules exactly as written, even if it's a charity. Ignoring unauthorized use can be seen as negligence. From the Japanese perspective, the real turning point wasn't when Nintendo pulled the games. It was back in 2020, when RTA officially became a corporation. That's the moment they went from being a fan-run event Nintendo could overlook to a legal entity that had to play by the exact same rules as any other company. Here's why this plays out so differently in Japan. In the US, we've got fair use. If you can argue your content is transformative with commentary or criticism, you are protected in most cases. That's why games done quick can feature Nintendo games without a license. In Japan, there is no fair use. Instead, there's a fixed list of exceptions. If it's not on that list, it's off limits. Video games are legally cinematographic works, and publishers have the exclusive right to publicly perform them. Streaming counts. If you're a corporation, yes, even a nonprofit, you need explicit permission to stream those games. For years, RTA in Japan operated in a tolerated gray area, but once they incorporated in 2020, they had the same obligations as any other business. Nintendo didn't act immediately because the event wasn't massive yet. By 2025, with global visibility and big sponsors, the risk was impossible to ignore. In Japan, ignoring unauthorized corporate use isn't just risky, it can weaken your legal position and make shareholders question your leadership. So on June 13th, 2025, Nintendo told RTA, corporate use requires prior permission. Past streams were unauthorized. With just weeks until the August marathon, licensing wasn't possible in time. The games had to go. What happened could have happened with any Japanese publisher. So why did this blow up as Nintendo versus everyone? Two reasons: visibility and history. Nintendo is one of the most recognizable gaming brands in the world. When they act, the story doesn't stay local, it spreads everywhere instantly. Other publishers enforce the same rules quietly, Nintendo can't. Then there's their track record. Decades of strict IP enforcement mean people already expect them to be the fun police. So when this happened, it slotted neatly into that narrative. The irony? This time, they weren't going above and beyond to shut something down. They were doing what every company in Japan is expected to do. The difference is, when Nintendo enforces the rules, the internet already has the headline ready. Here's what the outrage left out. RTA in Japan isn't angry with Nintendo. In their August 4th announcement, they made it clear this wasn't a permanent ban. They just couldn't finish the licensing process in time for the summer event. Behind the scenes, they're working with Nintendo. Going forward, RTA will apply for licenses on a per-game, per-event basis. More work, yes, but it means the games can return officially without last-minute surprises. From RTA's perspective, this strengthens their credibility with sponsors, keeps them legally safe, and protects their runners' work. It's not an enemy situation. It's a professional adjustment. So here's where I land. Nintendo pulling its games from RTA wasn't about greed, spite, or crushing a charity. It was the result of a system where the rules are strict, the expectations are clear, and companies are judged just as much on protecting their IP as on serving their fans. In the West, it fits perfectly into the Nintendo hates fun narrative. In Japan, it's just how the system works. And this story isn't over. RTA and Nintendo are working on a process that will bring the games back in future events. Short term, it stings. Long term, it might create a more beneficial relationship between RTA and Nintendo. So next time a headline makes it sound like a company's gone rogue, especially Nintendo, take a beat, look it up, learn the context, know what you're talking about before adding to the noise. You'll be smarter for it, and the conversation will actually get better. If you think more people should hear the full story, hit like, share this video, and subscribe. It keeps these deep dives coming.